It matters how we win. Taken from a movie that I really love, or a book really, Ender's Game. My son is named Ender, and I took the name from that book, and because I love the character so much that I want to name my son Ender. And in the movie, he says, it matters how we win. And this is sort of at the end. And it's interesting because I think to myself, I relate this to another thought when it comes to training, when it comes to getting stronger. That getting stronger means powerlifting. And the quote that I have, or the thing that I wrote down is, how you lift the weight matters. And that's kind of the whole purpose and everything that I do when I train. How I lift the weight matters. Sure, I might be able to pull 600 pounds, or I can PR 5 pounds, but the way I pull that 500 pounds is going to be matters. It matters. It matters because just because you lift a weight that's heavier doesn't necessarily always mean, or seldom does it ever really mean, that it's going to allow you to make progress the following week. Because training in itself has so many little nuances and little things, that facets that allow you to get better, and one of those things are technique. And when you lift heavy, technique breaks down, or when you lift near your max, technique breaks down. If you lift near your even your repetition max, when you fatigue, your technique breaks down. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, is how you lift the weight matters, because you want the way you lift the weight to carry forward. So if you lift the weight shitty, you're going to train shitty. And although you may get stronger, you're going to get stronger in a shitty way. And then over time, you will get hurt. And that's kind of like I talk to clients when I train clients. And sometimes we have to start over at a client today, and we had to change his squat because his lower back spasmed last week when we did like 10 sets of 10 with 135 pounds. And why is that? Because his lower back could not tolerate all that movement. First of all, 135 pounds, as we know, is not a whole lot of weight. It may be a lot of weight for him. It's actually probably a decent amount of weight for him. But the problem is he's not able to keep his spine under control, which is causing him to move and flex his back. Basically, for him to get depth, he has to sacrifice his spinal integrity. So the way he lifts the weights matters because when we start telegraphing into heavier weights, he has no choice but to move the weight, obviously, because the weight's on his back. But what I'm trying to say is that if we say, let's move him up, let's say we go up to a 400 pound. I think the most he's ever squatted is like 225, right? And let's say we move that up to a 400 pound squat and like build him up. Over time, he's going to run into problems, not just along the way, but eventually he will get hurt. The two things that have done really well for me is my deadlift and my bench, because my technique is, I won't say flawless, but it's really good. My deadlift is much better than my squat. I mean, deadlift is much better. Oh, that's true too. But my deadlift is much better than my bench, in the sense that my technique is so solid that my back, or that I don't have issues as things go forward. I don't have the joint dysfunction. Whereas in the squat, things start to fall apart. In my case, my upper body, my elbows have been bothering me. So how you lift the weight matters, because if you are doing things in let's just take this in a business sense, or maybe in a political, social, economic sense, that if you do things in a shady manner, you're going to get shady results. Now, although you might be able to get amazing results in the beginning and take sort of shortcuts, if you will, you are ultimately causing yourself to, what are you trying to do? You're ultimately causing yourself to essentially set yourself up for inevitable failure or catastrophic failure, sort of like the banking crisis, like with the, what do you call it, the instruments, like the options and stuff with the credit default swaps or whatnot. And of course, that's a lot more complicated than what I'm talking about now. But the idea is that you're taking from the future so that you can have success now. And the truth is, all you're doing is you're robbing yourself from the ability to make further progress. So how the way you lift the weight matters. Thanks for watching.